Welcome, everybody. Welcome. Have you heard the news? Y'all hear this? Let me see. Let me turn it up a little bit. We need this. Have you heard the news? Larry Hoover pardoned. You might be asking, who is Larry Hoover? Why should we care if he's pardoned? Well, in my opinion, Larry Hoover, political prisoner. That's just my opinion. We got a couple things to talk about, not just Larry Hoover. Just wanted to congratulate the brother on the pardon. But one of the things that I do want to talk about with all of this is we got the infamous racist J6er praying for him, but he had another moment, and I just wanted to bring this to light to you guys, man, because he's doubling down. So I'm gonna bring it to you and let you guys see. Asking everybody to pray for this brother, man. He has lost his mind. Other things, Kash Patel says he's got some things that he's going to be releasing related to Epstein, related to January 6th, and how the FBI hid things where they thought it would never be found. So buckle up, everybody, because we're going to talk about it all here and now, starting with who is Larry Hoover. Larry Hoover is the founder of the Gangster Disciples out of Chicago. All right. Now, I know what you're thinking. Like, Kash, isn't that a gang? I thought you stood against gang violence. I do. I stand against gang violence. And so does Larry Hoover. Larry Hoover transformed his entire life. He was actually on that path before they railroaded this man and hit him with, like 1 million life sentences. He got like 200 years still to serve in the state or something like that. Which puts Chicago in a real crazy position, right? The governor of Illinois has a decision to make. Does he allow Larry Hoover to be pardoned fully by the state of Illinois, or does he let him sit in a state prison? Now, if he sits in a state prison, everybody's going to be highly upset because the president of the United States commuted your sentence. So why should you have to stay incarcerated? If the president says it, well, then the governor should be on board and be like, you know what? This is real. And you know, the governor knows, the governor of Illinois knows how they railroaded this man. So what you going to do? Because if you don't let him come home, I'm going to tell you right now, you just lost 2028. You lose primaries, everything moving forward. Because the only reason Illinois stays blue the way that it does is because Chicago. If Chicago flips red, oh, it's over with. It's over with. It's done. So, got to give a shout out to Kanye West. Kanye West was part of this whole thing. He was one of the ones that, where's it at? Go ahead and pull it up. Kanye was advocating for this brother. If you guys remember back when he was at the White House with Donnie, President Donnie Baseball, the best president in the United States of America's history. Next to maybe Lincoln, maybe George Washington, maybe. I don't know. Personally, I'm feeling like he might be the greatest president of all time. I'm just saying. That's just my opinion. I know people don't like to hear that, but it's the truth. This is just how I feel. I'm a Trump fan. What can I say? Listen to this. Oh, wrong one. Let's go this one. This one. Share this tab instead. There we go. Check this out.
Hoover is an example of a man that was turning his life around. And as soon as he tried to turn his life around, they hit him with 6 life sentences. So I believe you say don't tear down the statues. Larry Hoover is a living statue. He's a beacon for us that needs to see his family, that needs to go out and represent. When you have a block leader on every single block, they can own the block as their own. That's something I learned from Jim Brown from A Mayor I Can. We need to put curriculums from people who really came from the streets, not people who are just trying to set us up to go into a work system or prison system that applies to what people are really going through, which Jim Brown has created.
Amen. Everything he said is real, man. Larry Hoover can come home and actually create some real change amongst not just, see, people get it twisted in Chicago. They think it's just black gangs, right? You know how many GDs I know that's Mexican, that's black, that's white, that's Puerto Rican, it's a whole bunch. You know what I'm saying? It's not a race thing. But a lot of people would listen to his words. I mean, a lot of people listen to his words from a cell. The man was in maximum security for I don't know how long. And instead of it being Gangster Disciples, he changed it to growth and development. and laid out a blueprint. This man is inspirational. He was an inspiration to me. I ain't gonna lie. It's part of the reason of my transformation throughout life, man, of leaving the gangs alone was because I looked into Larry Hoover and was like, yo, this dude could do it. He grew up rough like I grew up and found some stuff, and then he completely changed it. Didn't care what nobody thought about him. So for him to come home, I feel would create massive change in the streets. He's a leader. He's a natural born leader. He's been a leader. And I'm happy. I'm happy to hear that he's finally out of that maximum security, segregated, by himself. I'm glad that the brother, at least right now, he's going to probably go to population and be around people. And then after that, hopefully they send the brother home. Hopefully the governor of Illinois does the right thing and lets that man come home. That would be fantastic. So we got that. Now we got that out the way, right? Check this out, y'all. Check this out. Oh, by the way, I shared something earlier, and it was about what Elon felt about, Doge and all of this stuff. So let me just clarify. My man Elon is in thick with Trump. He's in thick with Trump. Him and Trump, they like this. Now, how he feels about Republicans is probably the same way that I feel about Republicans and Democrats. We know that the Capitol building, and most of the people in D.C. are corrupt politicians. Trump puts a spotlight on that. Elon puts a spotlight on that. So if he doesn't care for the Republican Party anymore, it's not a big shocker to me because most of the Republicans are rhinos. Can we just say it? Most of them are rhinos. I said it. The ones that are bending the knee right now are only bending the knee because they don't have a choice, because President Trump is in control. So of course, you're going to see some of them bend the knee. But I bet you what they got on Black and White with what they found in Doge puts a spotlight on a lot of these people. So for him to say something about the Republican Party, hey, I'm not against that. I feel that. I don't like the Republican Party either. I think the Republican Party is full of swamp rats, swamp creatures. That's just my opinion. But Trump answers the question, so I'll let him go on ahead and say how he feels about what he heard with Elon.
Mr. President, Elon Musk in a television interview criticized the one big, beautiful bill, saying he was disappointed it didn't cut enough, essentially, that it undercut the Doge efforts. What's your reaction to that?
Well, the reaction's a lot of things. Number one, we have to get a lot of votes. We can't be cutting. We need to get a lot of support, and we have a lot of support. We had to get it through the House. The House was. We have no Democrats. If it's up to the Democrats, they'll take the 65% increase. If that doesn't get approved, this country is going to have a 65% increase in taxes and lots of other problems, big problems, almost bigger than that. But we'll have a 65% increase as opposed to the largest tax cut in the history of our country. We will be negotiating that bill, and I'm not happy about certain aspects of it, but I'm thrilled by other aspects of it. That's the way they go. It's very big. It's the big, beautiful bill, but the beautiful is because of all of the things we have. The biggest thing being, I would say, the level of tax cutting that we're going to be doing. We're going to make people really be able to. We'll have the lowest tax rate we've ever had in the history of our country, and tremendous amounts of benefit are going to the middle-income people of our country, low and middle-income people of our country. So we're going to see what happens, because the Senate, as you know, is negotiating with us, and they have to then go back to the House, and it's got a way to go. But I have to say, Speaker Johnson and Thune have done an incredible job. John Thune has done a fantastic job, and they're working together with me and others. And I think we have an amazing, if we pull this off, remember, we have 0 Democrat votes because they're bad people. There's something wrong with them. They'll let people pour into our country. Single biggest problem is we had 21 million people pour into our country, probably higher than that. And they're people that weren't supposed to be here. And many of those people are bad. Murderers, drug dealers, the mentally insane. They were closing mental institutions all over the world, not South America, all over the world. They're coming into our country, and we're getting them out. And we're having a hard time because some judges aren't making it very easy for us, and it's tough enough. They approve that. They allow that to happen to our country. We don't have one Democrat vote. And if I were a Democrat, I'd be voting for this bill, and I'd get elected to any position I want as a Democrat. They're crazy. They're voting for a 65% tax increase. And they're only doing it for hatred. They're not doing it for any reason. They know it's terrible. terrible politics, in my opinion. But so we have no Democrat votes. That means we have to get almost all Republican votes. And I think we're very close to doing that. I think it'll be very successful. Yeah, please.
I like it. I like it. I mean, he's telling the truth. You got to give and take. I mean, think about what happened with the CARES Act, right? When that thing went through, everybody was upset, but because there was a lot of stuff in there that shouldn't have been in there, right? But at the same time, Trump knew he had to pass that. He had to pass it because people were struggling underneath COVID. People lost their livelihoods. People lost their businesses. It was bad, all right? He didn't want to pass it, but he had to pass it because of what it was going to do for the American people. And I feel like this is one of those same situations. The big, beautiful bill, it's got some stuff in it. I mean, yeah, it's got some stuff in it that we ain't going to like. But that's, like he said, every single bill is going to be that way. You're going to have things where you don't agree, where you do agree. But his goal in the grand scheme of things is to look out for the American people. So, yeah, it's going to be some stuff in there might upset some people. True enough. But he's trying to look out for the American people. Plain and simple. So, kudos to you, Trump. Appreciate you, brother. Appreciate you. Moving forward, you said, how do I feel? Where's it at? Right here. What are my thoughts about Todd and Julie Crisley? Hey, they're free. I ain't got a problem with that. I don't think anybody should get locked up for tax evasion. Personally, there shouldn't be no taxes. Why? Because taxation is theft. That's just how I feel. I guess that's the libertarian in me. Shout out to Free. Shout out to Casey. You know, I guess I got a little bit of libertarian views where taxation is theft. They shouldn't have gone to prison for, was it tax evasion? Yeah, so shout out to them. I'm glad that you're free and out that jam. There's that. Let me see what else we got. TDS, blinds all reason. Amen. How about poor retired who worked their whole lives? My husband never had a vacation. I feel that. Maybe something comes along, you know? We got more though. So let's keep this ball rolling. It's funny, I'm on here doing a little bit of news right now because I was trying to stay away from it, but today's just been so good. It's been just such a good news day. I'm like, I've got to. I ain't got a choice in this one. This is great stuff right here. So where's it at? My man's, where is he? Oh, this. Check this out, you guys. You guys know who this is. The Tate brothers. The Tate brothers just got hit up for wherever their case. Let me see, where's it at? Yeah, in the UK. They got hit with, they're getting charged with rape and I think trafficking, if I'm not mistaken, is being reported. So they're getting hit up. And I just got to say, no matter how you feel about the Tate brothers, right? Some people love them. When I first got out of prison, I started listening to Andrew Tate, and I'm like, oh, I like some of the stuff this guy's saying. But the more I started looking into Tate, I'm like, yo, this dude is not somebody that anybody should be taking advice from because he got some things that's in his past. I don't like traffickers. I'm gonna just go ahead and say it. I definitely don't like people who sexually assault people. I don't like that. So I'm not a fan. Not a fan of Andrew Tate. And I'm just gonna say this. Let justice be served. I'm not wishing them nothing, bad. I'm not wishing them anything good, except for a hope that they could come to Christ. Because I think Tate's like a Muslim or something like that. I don't know. But yeah, I hope that they can find God. That's all I'm gonna say. Because the things that these brothers is accused of doing, charged with doing, and probably did, because I've listened to the dude say some questionable stuff. And I'm just like, yo, this dude is, he ain't right. So Tate brothers, they got hit up from UK, and supposedly they're going to get some charges from the United States. That's just what I'm hearing. That's what I'm reading, right? That there's some charges supposed to be coming their way from the United States of America, the U.S. government going after them. And which brings me to this, because one of Tate's big advocates, that someone that loves him dearly, from what I could tell, is Candace Owens. I'll take with that and do with it whatever you will. Candace has been real questionable to me from the start. You know what I'm saying? Very intelligent, but maybe lacks judgment, I guess, about people she should and shouldn't deal with. But I guess if you're somebody that just hates Israel totally and just has nothing good to say about Israel, well, then she'll be a friend to you. So I think that's what they bonded over, was their hatred for Israel. So, there's that. That's in the news. That's happening right now. Tate brothers charged. Moving forward, though, where's he at, man? Right here. My man, Cash Patel, who I'm just saying, I'm waiting, Cash Patel, because I've been wondering when you and Dan Bongino been making me really like scratch my head lately about you guys. I don't know, but this sounds good. So I'm gonna go ahead and throw this up so everybody can see it, and let's hear what he has to say.
You know, you were on with Maria a few weeks ago, and you said this.
What we can do now is continue to put out the documents and the information that these people withheld from the American public. You're about to see a wave of transparency.
What do you mean?
Just give us about...
Isn't that what we've been waiting for, is just a wave of transparency? I'm glad that word right there just made me excited to hear, like a wave of transparency. Good. I hope that you're going to just throw all these people out here that have been doing the most evil things in this country and doing it to American people. They did it to me. They did it to a bunch of other Americans, and they do it all the time. So this is good. Let me go back a little bit.
Just give us about a week or two.
All right, we're almost at 2 weeks. So this is about Crossfire Hurricane. You just talked about that, all that you've been learning. Can you give us a little of that wave of transparency?
Absolutely. So just quickly on Crossfire Hurricane, that is a continuing production. We have found material, and I'm the Crossfire Hurricane guy, that I didn't even know existed in FBI holdings.
So there's been held someplace else, or?
That's been stashed away in locations that people thought we wouldn't find it because we wouldn't know to look for it there.
I don't see, this is what lets you know that there is just some deep corruption, just very, very deep corruption. Think about this, you guys. They hiding stuff from their own people, which again, lets you see that not everybody in the FBI is corrupt. Not everybody in the CIA is corrupt. Not everybody in the government is corrupt. Not everybody in life is corrupt. You know, when you look at all these different groups, not everybody's corrupt, but there are people that are very corrupt and complicit in the corruption by knowing it and allowing it. He said, I was a hurricane guy and I didn't even know. This is stuff I didn't even know. Make it make sense. That's corruption. That is deep corruption.
And as promised with my congressional partners, I'm working with Congress on constitutional oversight because that's what the American people deserve. And those documentations have been flowing to Congress nonstop on a rolling basis since that interview. But more importantly, people have had questions about January 6th and whether or not there were FBI sources, not agent sources, on the ground during January 6th.
Were there FBI sources there on January 6th? Come on. We know that is a 100% fact. You know how we know? We was locked up with some of them. Some of them, I believe, was straight up plants. And you could tell by the things that they're doing now, trying to put a stain on the movement, one of which we're going to talk about here shortly.
And I told you I would get you the definitive answer to that, and we have. And we are in the process, again, of working with our partners to divulge that information, and it is coming. And I will tell you this. The answer to that question will surprise and shock people because of what past FBI leaders have said about it.
You know,
It's getting good, guys. It is getting good because, you know, Christopher Wray and all of them, they tried to lie. They tried to lie to the people. Remember when they was going in front of Congress? You remember this when they were questioning them? Did you have FBI at January 6th? And they were like, well, we can't. The answer should be no. The answer should be no. But they sitting there fumbling. Yes, they had FBI sources. Now it's coming out. This is verified. This is verified. We know this. So not a shocker. Not a shocker. But you start to see it when you start to pay attention to some of the people who got notoriety for January 6th. Some of the people who were nobody. They were nobodies. Not that being nobody is a bad thing. It's fine to be a nobody, right? Live a quiet, peaceable life. That's a good thing. But these people were nothing except for agitators on January 6th. And then when they were locked up, they became these big names and got these big followings and then gained millions of dollars. They bamboozled so many people. And I want to make this clear. I want to state this for the record. They ask me, I get messages on X and on the Chinese Communist app. I get messages, right? And they say, Cash, how come you don't go to any of the J6 things? How come we don't see you in the J6 spaces or because I don't like all of them. To me, some of them are a part of the problem. I know. I was locked up with a few of them. Some of these dudes are horrible people. And I can say that now because everybody's got pardoned and it's all said and done. See, I wanted to say this when I first got out of prison. But what I did was told you guys what? I love all my brothers. I don't like some. I kept it honest with you. I just didn't out them. But the reason why I didn't like some of them, see, and I got to apologize. I got to apologize to you all because I told you none of them was racist. And I truly believed that from the brothers that I had met, right? But now, coming home and seeing how people were handling their freedom and what they're doing with it, you can't deny it anymore. There's a lot of them that are racist. So people wasn't right. The left, the people on the left that were saying that these guys are white supremacists and they're racist, some of them are. And it's blatant. You see it in their posts. You see it in the things that they say on social media. You see it the way that they live their lives, the content that they put out there, that they share, posts that they like. You see it. And it's not hard to tell. So I want to apologize for saying that none of them are, because apparently some of them are, and they were just too scared to be that around me when we were locked up. So, and it's understandable because they would have, most likely swallowed their teeth. So, not that I'm trying to promote violence, you guys, because I know I've been called a violent Black American by, some people. But it's just the reality of the situation, cause and effect, not that I am violent. I'm capable of violence. I try not to use violence. I'm gonna state that for the record too. I try my best not to use violence because I want the best for everybody. And I believe in God and I'm a believer. So with that, I try not to, but I'm not opposed to it. I'm not opposed to it. I do my best to stay away from it. So why am I talking about this? Well, Jake, and I said I wasn't going to say the name, but I'm going to say the name. Jake. We all know who your favorite Jewish white supremacist, because that's apparently what he is. He's a Jewish white supremacist, which is a shame because the brother has a capability for good. We're still praying for you over here. Literally, I be praying. When I seen your post today before I came on here, or not your post, but your rant that you had on X on Anarchy Princess. Shout out to Anarchy Princess. I know some people don't like her. I love her. I think that she's pretty great. But I was listening to this and I can't play it. I'm gonna read the transcripts and I'm gonna redact it myself. I'm gonna censor myself. But you're gonna be like, maybe some of you will be shocked, maybe some of you won't, because you're like, yeah, we already know that this dude is that. So, backstory. I was locked up with Jake Lang. Jake Lang was a big pain in DC DOC because he was always causing problems, always stirring up a pot, lying to the people over the phone, crying to people over the phone, writing articles. He wrote multiple articles. He reached out to NPR, and a couple of people did that and made fake stories about people that were actually patriots that was inside the pod, talked about them in a negative light. These are the things that we didn't talk about to any of the people. But yeah, reached out to liberal news sources to put out stories, hit pieces on people that were suffering through being locked up for January 6th. People that you were supposed to think of as your brothers. He was doing things like that. He was getting us put on lockdown all the time because he has a problem not acting like a child. You know what I'm saying? And it was rough. He got the unit maced a couple times. We had to, it was a lot. He got us put on lockdown for holidays, just all because he cried about everything. I also had to put my hands on. I had to get physical with him. And when I got physical with him, just to show you I'm not a violent Black American, I had mercy. And I didn't pulverize him. I just put him down and then lifted him up and told him, after he begged me, by the way, pleaded and begged and shook him. He said, please. I said, okay. And I told him, don't talk to me no more. Leave me alone. And that was that. But he caused so many problems in there. And now he comes home and he's also the same guy that was trying to get the rally going, or the whatever he was trying to do, the protest out in Austin, Texas, or no, I forget what part of Texas, Longview, or I don't know, wherever it was in Texas, where he went to try to protest the Carmelo Anthony, Austin Metcalf situation. Prayers to the Metcalf family. Prayers to all families involved, really. And yeah, he tried to get the white people to be angry and riot. That's really what it was. It was rage bait, which is what he does. This is really what it is at this point. It's rage bait. And came out basically as a proud white person that just wants to stand against the scourge of black violence against white Americans, which isn't even a thing. It's like it happens, but violence happens, period. It's not about race. I don't think black people are going out of their way to say, hey, there's a white person, let's get them. The same way I don't believe white people are like, hey, there's a black people, let's get them. It's just not a thing. It's just people being idiots, you know, and do what they do. Do what idiots do. Beyond that, after that, see, I pointed him out. I got put on Mr. Whitlock's show and did that and outed him, which crushed his Senate run. I don't think he's even running anymore. If he was running, he ain't got a chance. He ain't running fast enough. We ended that. And with that, he got super, like he went spiral. I think he's been drinking and he just got beat up at a whatever it was, the event. I guess 4 black dudes jumped on him and beat the brakes off of this boy for singing the Kanye West song about, you know, Hitler. So that happened. And then after that, he keeps on spiraling and goes on a tirade. The other day, he gets on a person's Facebook video and they're doing a live, and he brought me up and called me every single name that he could. Hard R, you know, called me the N-word with a hard R a couple times. Talked about him for wearing a do-rag, which people love my do-rag. I don't even know why you would say that. I love the do-rag. I got nice waves going on back here now. You know, it's just beautiful. But yeah, he did that. And I'll let it be. I gave a real classy response because that's just what I was going to do. I'm like, I could have ripped him up. You know, I edit videos. I was going to make a whole video. And I'm like, no, Cash, that's not the way to go. You're being better than that. So I did. But then I get this post. I get tagged in it. And it's a video. So I can't play the video, but I'm going to read it to you. I got it pulled up right here. Oh, God, you guys, this is insane. And he's on his girlfriend or fiance on her profile while he's saying these things. So he's talking in the background and she's basically telling him, shut up. She said that he's like a child. He said, you're like a child. I don't offend him. I'm sitting here. Who wants more? Anyone? The other person says, we still love Jake. He's a soldier. And then his girlfriend's transcript is, he's a child. Let me, yeah. Like, I sit there and I defend him. And then Dom, he says, F word, yeah. The other guy says, dude, he was down to ride 100% on J6. So he's a soldier, right? Here's the bad part. Jake, in the background of his girlfriend's profile, says, I was down to kill NIGG, you do the rest on day 1. And then she says, oh my God, stop. Like, for real, stop. What do you mean? This is what Jake said. What do you mean? Why do you think he effing pardoned us? Talking about Trump. This is why I say he's trying to put a stain on the movement. He said, it's a effing white revolution. And then she says, yeah, okay. Childish as F. Are you kidding me? And then it just keeps on going. Oh, he called him, he said, F these effing interlopers. Yeah, it gets going. Then they end up in this little thing where they're talking about, you know, Jake having a pinky down below, which is a fact. Don't ask how we all know that in the unit. You know, Jake was on some other stuff. But yeah, it turns into this thing where she's trying to defend him, you know, not being a little guy, which makes a lot of sense because, you know, people that have that problem really do have a lot of like built up anger. And they like to, you know, agitate and cause chaos and try to have this bravado that's just, you know, it's like kind of like a Napoleon complex, but, you know, it's pretty messed up. But again, you see the racism, the racial slurs and all of these things. And it's just like, bro, come on. And he sounded like he was faded in the background, bro. He sounded like he was popped. And I hear that he's having a problem lately, just from, you know, people saying that he's been spiraling, man, like falling into drinking. You know, this is allegedly. I don't know if this is true, but saying that he's falling into some darkness, man, with alcohol. And I find that to be strange because you're supposed to be a believer. You're supposed to be a believer. So how is it that you can go from being somebody who was going around the unit writing psalms and putting them underneath people's doors and trying to preach the gospel to people, you know, and said that you were of the line of David and that you were, you know, a part of this royal lineage, to now being a bigot, a racist, and drunkard. Like, you listen, people are gonna probably get mad at me for saying this, but Jake, you're better than that. You're better than that. You're better than being a bigot. You're better than being a racist. You're better than being drunk. You're better than what you're doing. You are. And I don't know what happened. I don't know if you're being, honestly, I'm starting to feel like you're being forced, bro, because this is like a complete 180 of the person that you portrayed yourself as when we was incarcerated. Like, you flipped so many different times into these different people, and it's just like, it's insane. It's insane. And I feel for you. I do. I feel for you, man. I'm praying for you, bro. Real talk. I mean that. Like, I'm for real praying for you because this is getting out of hand. And I know you probably going to see this and call me an N-word again and say what you say about me, but just know it's all love. I forgive you. I forgive you. And I'm praying that, you know, your story becomes powerful, bruh, in the right way. You know, I'm praying that you get yourself together and give yourself back to God. And then when you do that, that it's transformative to the people that are racist that follow you. You know, the ones that are in your comments calling you all the derogatory terms that people say to Jewish people. I hope that it changes them and they're like, oh, this dude really changed up his life. And then they want to change their life. And it just becomes this thing. Last thing I got for you guys. So we all know the QAnon Shaman, right? The QAnon Shaman. This dude, definitely we got to pray for. Definitely got to pray for this brother because my man Script Keeper shared this from Jacob Chansley's page. And I'm not going to pull it up because of the things that he's saying. So again, I'm just going to read it to you. Jacob Chansley. He says, I'm doing this for my safety. These people are effing crazy. They think I am their pet. That is how sick and effing twisted these people are. I am fine and will continue to fight and give Israel the finger. Let the Amazon move as one. I don't even know what that means, but this is what he is saying. It goes on to say from this post, he says, listen to me. And this is about to sound crazy, you guys. I'm sorry in advance. If you're new to the channel, thank you for being here. Consider giving me a follow. I greatly appreciate it. Maybe like the video if you enjoy the content. But this is what he says. Listen to me. What if I told everyone on the internet that Donald Trump effed, that's his words, a corpse to get his billions? Would you believe me? Question mark, question mark, question mark. I told you about how he contacted me after J6. You want me to believe that Donald Trump contacted you after January 6th, bro? Come on. You showed up there with bullhorns on, my guy, and was on some real sketchy stuff when we was in DC DOC. You was like, you literally wouldn't eat food that wasn't like, was organic. You needed fully organic food all the way to the point where you did a hunger strike and was starving yourself, bro. We knew you was crazy when you first showed up there, my brother. So this stuff that you, and this is dangerous stuff that you putting out there right now. The things that you're saying is, and it's, I mean, I don't believe it. I personally don't believe it. I'm going to keep reading it, but I think you need to seek some medical help, brother, like a psychiatrist or something, because it says, after this, I told you about how he contacted me after J6 and about how he is simping for Israel. When I was in Austin, Texas, I was approached by someone from the Trump camp, this person and a few others, and I went to get food at a restaurant and converse. In this location, this member of the Trump camp indirectly threatened me. Now, the reason why, I'm going to stop right now, right? The reason why you seem totally not credible with this is you have no problem telling people that Trump, the president of the United States, did this horrible act that you're saying. This is like what is necrophilia is basically what you're saying he had to do to get his money. But then you don't name the person from the Trump camp. See the hole there? Like, you're willing to call out him, but not the person from Trump camp who's allegedly meeting with you. Okay, but we'll keep going. He looked me in the eye and he said something pertaining to the economy and the tariffs. And then he pointed his two fingers like a pistol at my forehead and said, Trump said, let's shoot the effing hostage and be done with it. So you mean to tell me that Trump sent somebody from his camp to come to you, sit down, have some food, point some fingers at you and say, a message basically that's a threat, right? Or something to that effect, he writes. Now I have been refusing to cooperate with the Trump administration, and I blew the whistle, that's a lie. That's a lie, because you was going hard for Trump after you was out. All right. So cut the line, bro. You forget this. The internet has everything. All right. Now I've been refusing to cooperate with the Trump administration. I blew the whistle on how they are a shill for Israel, as many of you all well know by now. So within minutes after the threat on my life was made, I sent myself this text message to my email address, just in case I was taken out. There would be a record of the threat being made that, where we at? Something that effect was being made. Record of the threat being made that night and who I was with. But you still didn't say who you was with. You just said somebody from the Trump campaign or administration, whatever. I knew that the Trump admin had my phone tapped. So they would likely see the message I sent myself. That was also an insurance policy, just like they see this message now. Read the words in the message. They are, I think you put them words together. They are continuing. They are continuing to threaten me and my life. I am just letting you all know now. The Trump admin is not an American government, he writes. I was wrong. It never was. It was always Israel first. To you, Israel, and the Trump admin, don't you ever effing try to destroy me or hurt me or those I love ever effing again. Now, brother, I think that Trump has a lot more going on in the world, when the problems in the world, than to want to threaten you. I'm almost positive. I mean, think about this, bro. He had 2 attempts on his life. I mean, he's got other than what you're gonna say, your words, your ex post. You think that he's concerned with what? I mean, you literally just called this man a necrophiliac, bro. You think he's worrying about what you got going on? I think you've been listening to too many of these influencers that make you just hate Israel. That's what I think. I think that you're listening to too many people, and they got you thinking that Trump is what you just said, that Trump is an Israel shield. I don't agree with that. I believe that Trump really cares about America. And in order to care about America, you have to play ball with other nations, one of them being Israel, in the sense of they literally are a military strategic point for America. We have to be over there, bro. All of the people that are against us are around them. We have a point over there that we can make instantly if anybody gets out of line with Israel. So it is in our best interest as a nation to align ourselves with Israel, leaving everything else out of it. Just from a nation standpoint, it makes sense. So stop listening to people like Stu Peters, who is trash when it comes to giving information. I just want to point that out, everybody. If you listen to Stu Peters, stop. That dude is part of the problem. Candace Owens, stop listening to Candace Owens. She's part of the problem. Stop listening to these people that want you to hate a group or a nation or any of that. Just stop listening to them. They're feeding you stuff that's got your schizophrenia going crazy, bro. Crazy. And get some help, brother. Get some help. And with that, everybody, that's all I really got. I mean, I wanted to come on and talk to you real quick just to see what you thought. It's crazy. It's crazy times we're living in, you know? Shout out to Donald Trump. Shout out to Donald Trump, man. Not just for my pardon. Not just for freeing Larry Hoover, well, commuting his sentence, but for everything, bro, that you're doing for this country. Because I see it. I see what you're trying to do. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. You trying to put more money back into the American people's pockets. I appreciate that. You exposing the corruption or putting people in place to expose the corruption that's been happening. Things that we got called conspiracy theorists for some of the things that have been coming out. You know? So you're letting the world basically know, like, yo, they're not crazy. They're not crazy. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate it. I can't wait to see this stuff with January 6th because I feel it might be more of a vindication for people like myself and others that were there for the right reasons on January 6th. Not the for real paid actors, the for real people that were there that was there for the FBI, for the corrupt people in the FBI, because I don't think that all the FBI was in on January 6th. I think the corrupt people were. They knew who they could let know. Shout out to you, Trump. And that's where I stand with it. I know some people don't like it. I know. Say you're, oh, well, let's look at the comments before I go. You're a right-wing joke, Cash. Hey, I still love you, brother. You don't got to agree with my politics, but I still love you. Thanks for joining us tonight, everyone. Stu has lost his mind. Yes. Hey, Cash, hope you're doing well. Haven't chimed in a minute. Yeah, I know I've not been up here. Rammer, I see you on that one, but I can't put that up here, brother. But I feel you. I feel you. And I'm not going to say this is the thing. This is the thing, Rammer. This is the thing. I don't disagree with you. I don't disagree with you. I made my stance very clear on when it comes to Israel's government. Trash. Israel has a trash, corrupt government, probably worse than ours. I feel they could be one of the most corrupt governments in the world. That's my standpoint. But we have to deal with Israel. We have to. If not, then just brace yourself for war. That's really what it comes down to. People don't, I don't know if you pay attention to the military or, conflicts that are going on, but you have to. You've got to deal with Israel as America, because we don't got nobodies over there. Nobodies. We're starting to make buddies due to President Trump. You know what I'm saying? But some of those people just hate that America exists. They literally have chants for their children in school that is death to our country. Doesn't matter about your religion, none of that. Just death to our country, bro. So regardless of how I feel about their government, I understand that there's things going on in politics that I just don't know about. I know that Trump has been proven time and time again that he's for the people. All people, don't matter what color they are. He's for all the people in this country. I believe that. I could be wrong, but that's what I believe. That's what I see. That's what I see. So I know that if he is dealing with them, that there's got to be a legit reason. Got to be a legit reason. Now, that's just my opinion. I'm not a pro at this. This is just from the outside looking in. And you're welcome. You're welcome to have a difference of opinion. But we don't got to go trade insults, bro. We better than that. You're my brother. I'm your brother. So that's it. You say you're a proud left radical. Hey, that's your right as an American. That is your right as an American if you want to be a proud left radical. I disagree, but that's America. Doesn't mean that we can't be brothers just because you share a different opinion than me. But if you don't want to be my brother, that's cool too. You can, just do your thing. Doesn't bother me none, brother. Thank you for watching. I appreciate it. But with that, I do got to go. I do got to get off here. I'm starving. I'm hungry. I need to go get me something to eat. But before I go, I just want to say, I love you guys, man. Unite. Don't fight. Be a street light. It's only you could be the change you wish to see in the world. And when you get too stressed out, you got to remember to pray, America. Because without God, everything falls apart. That's a fact. You end up coming into the comment section and calling names to people online. That's just ridiculous. As children do that, man. We grown. I love you, okay? I love you. You don't got to love me back. But I love you because Christ loved me first. All right? There it is. I love you. Jake, I love you. Jacob Chansley. Why is all the people named Jake got to be crazy? I don't get it. Just know I love you and I'm praying for you. All right? Praying for everybody. Pray for the world, everybody. Pray for world peace. Pray for friendship. Pray that relationships get healed. Just pray for good. That's it. That's what I want to leave you with. And with that, I bid you all a good day.